Hello and welcome to another edition of Reality NSFW's coverage of Big Brother Canada 10. I'm your host, Bobby Goodsby, and I'm joined as always by my great co-host, Mr. Brent Wolgamott. Brent, how are you?
I'm doing amazing. I have to give it up for this season. This is an amazing season of Big Brother because let me tell you, I still, even on a Wednesday, right before eviction night, I still don't know exactly who's going to go home. Like I think I'm 99% sure of who's going to go home, but you never know with these house guests. Nothing is cut and dry. I can see arguments on both sides. Everybody has been playing wonderfully and terribly all at the same time. So, I can't wait to break it all down. Ever since we left you guys last week, right before the triple eviction, oh my gosh, so much stuff has happened since then. So it's a Betty HOH, and I'm here for it.
It is definitely a Betty HOH. All right, so what a season. I couldn't agree with you more. This season has been absolutely fantastic. Probably my favorite season in the last probably 5 to 6 or 7. Maybe since Big Brother 20 US, this might be my favorite season. So very much so looking forward to the end stretch. And honestly, I think there's a lot of people that can win this game. I don't think we have an absolute front runner just because we don't know how things are going to pan out. So I'm looking forward to this. And you want to get into the episode?
Yes, I would love to. Please, let's do it.
All right. So we start off with Betty once again. Bitter Betty is at it again. Very bitter about Josh putting her up for the nominations in the triple.
Girl. Yeah.
Obviously, she was safe. Obviously, it worked out. But my God, do you want to not get on Bitter Betty's bad side?
So it's really frustrating watching Betty because, she's a little bit like me in that she plays with her emotions, but sometimes those emotions can really get in the way of good strategy. And watching her make some mistakes this week as HOH have definitely been the most frustrating part if you're somebody like me who's rooting for Betty. So that's where I'm at.
Yeah, see, for me, I'm in the corner where I'm rooting for the ghosts. I think this HOH could have worked out perfectly for the ghosts, where I feel like if Kevin just doesn't go up to Betty in the last episode and says, yes, I'm working with Josh, and hey, if we need to make the move, I'm down. I honestly think that this would be a clear-cut reason to get rid of JC and basically put yourself in a position where you almost don't even have to win the Final Four HOH next week. You'd almost prefer not to win if you're Helena or Kevin in the Final Four because, one, you don't get the blood on your hands, and two, no matter what, the Final Four is always interesting because you got that predicament where if you win HOH, great, you win safety. But your person that's with you, if you're in a group of two like they are, isn't guaranteed, and it all comes down to the veto. Everything comes down to the veto in the Final Four. If you don't win that Final Four HOH, then if you're Helena and Kevin, and only person that can win is Josh, and Josh is on your side because he believes in the crash test dummies, then no matter what, you have someone that's going to vote out Betty and you're guaranteed Final Three. You are absolutely guaranteed. Now, you can't say that if for some reason Betty wins, then that's the only situation where it doesn't work out. But I just feel like him saying that to Betty this week really turned Josh, and we saw it in the episode, turned him on to the idea that Kevin isn't going to take him as far as he thinks he's going to take him, that his loyalty is with Helena, and that he needs to make a move. He would have made a move had he won the power of veto this week. We saw that in his diary room sessions. So I think that, one, they got very lucky that Helena won the power veto tonight, and two, that now it's looking like they might be making a move against Josh. And some might say, hey, maybe you shouldn't let JC get that far because I don't think she's going to take you as far as you think either. But now that Josh is clearly against Kevin and Helena, I think this might be actually the best move for them. So I feel like if he just doesn't say that to Betty, they're set up very, very nicely.
So the episode left out a little bit. It wasn't just that Betty came to the realization that Kevin has been playing her, that Kevin's the evil mastermind, that he's the genius, that she needs to go to Josh and tamp this down. First of all, the timing of it was totally problematic. Josh sat in the Expedia room and absolutely fucking sulked for the entire day of nominations, let himself get put up on the block, okay? And then after that, Betty and Josh decided to have a conversation about Kevin's evil genius after Kevin overplayed his cards a little bit and told Betty about the fact that he and Josh had a final two, which allowed Betty to start thinking a little bit more game-wise about Big Brother and realize that Kevin is playing a really high caliber game here. It just caused her to rethink everything and not like she was playing emotionally before, and now she's playing all business. She's business B. So she's now in it to win it. And she's thinking, okay, who do I need to take to the end and why? Like, I'm all business now. And she realizes that Kevin is somebody who she needs to fear in the end. But it's so problematic because, number one, she didn't have that realization before nominations, and she had a good 24 hours before nominations, and I don't know why she didn't think of this before. And number two, it's also Josh's fault because Josh, I don't know, like, I'm so frustrated with Josh right now. I retweeted Mari from RHAP, like, absolutely ripping Josh a new asshole in a very polite way earlier today because she absolutely had it spot on. Josh has been the most passive, good player I think I've ever seen in 10 seasons of Big Brother Canada. He's an absolute stone fox. He's a sweet guy. Everybody loves him, and yet he doesn't have one alpha strategic bone in his body to be able to just push a little bit and do something within the game. Even now, spoiler alert, like it looks like Josh is going to go home. He still won't go and confront Kevin about the fact that he's going to go home. He's just going to let it happen. He's just going to take his pound and take his ball and go home. And it's very frustrating to me because Josh could absolutely win if he got to the end. I was watching Summer's exit interviews earlier today from the triple eviction, and even like the second or third interview that she did after the triple eviction had already ended, she had already started to calm down a little bit with Josh and realize, maybe he'll get my jury vote. When in the beginning, she was like, absolutely not, I'm not voting for you. So he could totally win, and he's not fighting for it here. And if you're somebody who likes Josh like me, it's just so frustrating. It really is, Bobby.
Yeah, no, it's very frustrating. And it's someone that, like you said, has a great chance. Maybe he's in his own head a little bit because of what he did to Betty, what he did to Summer, her professing that she is not going to give her vote to Josh if he were to make to the final two. So I think a lot of this is weighing hard on Josh right now. I think that Josh gets in his head worse than anyone I've seen in a long time, where he just constantly thinks about the personal ramifications of his actions, more so than it being a game. I think later he tends to realize, okay, it is a game. I've got to do this. And he does it in the moment, but then he just dwells on the personal aspect of the game.
He
and
does.
I think that's really, really what's affecting his game at this point.
Oh, it's so frustrating too. Like everything's personal with him. And that's it's sort of a weird dichotomy because the reason he's got to this great point in the game and the reason he's like made mistakes before in the game and yet other people have come to his rescue. It's like that famous, I don't know if you, not famous, but at this shot of Josh, he's like tanning in the backyard and he's got like the sunglasses on and he's got his like tan chest out there and he's just sitting there doing nothing while all this chaos is happening around him. You know what I mean? That's like the epitome of what Josh is doing because he doesn't do anything to seemingly forward push his game. Everybody else has been doing it for him for the most part. The only thing he's got going for him is the social game, which is great to have in Big Brother, but at the end of the day, you have to win a comp. You have to do something. You have to do something to forward your game. You have to have a little strategic chops. You have to have a little alpha in you to say, you know, like, no, sir, I'm not going to take this anymore and do something about your fate. And he just doesn't seem to want to do it. I don't know if he's feeling guilty. I sort of agree with what Mari said on the update earlier today, where she was just like, I think Josh wants out. And I kind of agree with that. Like, I feel like he wants out. And that's too bad because he could totally win here at the end.
And honestly, it's kind of interesting to watch because Normally we get people who take every eviction and everything that's done to them in the game personally when they're outside the game, when they're in the jury house, what have you, on social media. The people getting evicted are the ones that take everything personally. And I feel like here it's almost the reverse. I feel like Josh takes every action he does personally. And
Yes.
it's strange because we're not used to that. Usually the people that are in the house making these moves know it's a game move and know they have to do it. And it sucks. They hate to do it, but they don't dwell on it. Josh dwells so much on the personal aspect of the game. It's frustrating.
Yeah, I mean, if that is the 5-letter word for Josh, dwell. He dwells on every fucking thing, and it's really fucking frustrating. But you know what? That's a word we're dogging Josh out, and yet there's 4 other people who I feel like are all making mistakes this week. So let's talk more about that. Let's leave it to a little something for everybody.
Who do you want to start with then? Let's break down.
I mean, I feel like I have to start next with Jace, only because I'm going to take some points away for, I believe, her inability to recognize what was happening in front of her with Betty. You saw it in the episode tonight. Betty had the secret that Jace had the secret veto and never told her about it. So it made it look like Jace was lying. That's the reason why Betty has been so gung-ho to get Jace out of the house, because that's the secret that she was holding back from Betty. And Kevin and Helena had concocted this whole plan saying, like, look, like, when Gino and Jace had HOH, when Gino was HOH, he was never really going to backdoor Marty because Jace had the secret veto. And if they were going to backdoor Marty, they could have used the secret veto to backdoor Marty. That's why Helena didn't use the power of veto during that ceremony, because she knew that if they used the power of veto in the ceremony, that Josh would have been backdoored. So Betty feels like she's being lied to by Jace. And then when Jace doesn't come clean with the information, oh, by the way, I had a secret veto that I've totally been denying up until now, to Betty, and Betty says, look, I know you had it. And she's like, oh, and she, by the way, Jace looked so guilty in that moment. Yeah. When Betty outed her about the veto, about the secret veto, she looked so fucking guilty. She was just like, like those people in the movies, like, when they don't know what to say and they're literally like, humming. Like, that's like what Jace was doing. Yeah, she was like 100% didn't know what to say. Totally tongue twisted, and it was glorious to watch from a television point of view, but from a strategic point of view, I was really frustrated with her, because just one more nail in the coffin of the fact that she's going to go on the block this week. I mean, Josh, for my money, really deserved to go on the block. At least the little point I can give to Jace is that she wasn't aware of the fact that Betty had this secret information, and that's why she wasn't giving it up. If she had known about it, maybe she would have had a different pitch for Betty in terms of trying to get off the block. But on the other hand, she really should have known that secret was going to get out, because she knew that Helena and Kevin knew about the secret veto, and they betrayed them during the triple. So do you really think they're going to keep that information secret? Obviously not so.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, like you said, she was a deer in headlights. This is something, knowing that she has people in the house that know the truth, that at this point of the game have no problem ratting her out on, and the fact that she knows she hasn't told Betty about this situation, that she had that secret veto, and now Betty's HOH, it just all adds together that you just need to come clean before anyone else outs you about it, and something that she should have done right away, especially when you're this far into the game. You're at the end point. You don't need anything for that person to distrust you. You need to be instantly honest about it, because people already know. People are playing against you. You know you're on the outs. You just basically saved yourself from going home. There's no benefit for not telling her at this point. So the fact that she waited, maybe she didn't think about it, or maybe she just didn't think of it as a priority, or didn't think it would come up. It came back and it bit her in the ass. And now she's paying, in full for her own transgressions of not telling Betty in the first place. And
right.
I agree with you. I just think this was an absolute mistake on her part.
Yeah, with interest, these
Yeah.
mistakes have been made. So yes, let's talk about other people who have made mistakes. Let's let's talk about Helena and Kevin. Let's talk about
Uh-huh.
Kevin specifically. First of all, I think they both have been playing pretty well. Kevin and Helena both to stay off the block after they openly betrayed a few people in the triple eviction, and it looked like Josh was protecting them during the triple eviction. You think that Betty would have the light bulb go off and realize, wow, they're working together. But again, it was the fact that this unplayed power, this secret veto that Betty knew about, but Jace didn't realize she knew about, that Kevin and Helena correctly used it as strategy to basically dog out Jace's game and make her look very untrustworthy to Betty, to the point where Betty was like, I have to put Jace on the block because she's not being truthful with me, when in reality, that's not really what happened whatsoever. We know what happened with the secret veto. Jace basically overruled Gino and was like, we're not going to backdoor Marty because I don't think it would be good for your game. And afterwards, Gino was like, yeah, I guess you're right. But he totally would have, if Gino could have, if that veto was used, he would have put Marty on the block. Make no mistake about it. But Betty has been totally snowed by Kevin and Helena. So that's something good that they've done. However, something bad that they've done, in my opinion, two things. Number one, Kevin got a little cocky when he outed to Betty that he had a final two with Josh, which really wasn't shown in the episode, but make no mistake that that's an integral part of why Betty and Josh are onto Kevin. Number two, Helena and Kevin have not been really like crash test dummies forever with Josh.
Yeah.
And Josh, I'll also indict him. He also is not been crash test dummies forever. As Mari said in the update earlier today, if you're going to go to the triple eviction and you're going to nominate Summer and you're going to nominate Betty and you're going to betray all your allies and you're going to protect the crash test dummies, bitch, you better be crash test dummies for life. You better be in their butthole saying, oh, girl, I'm with you. I can't wait to go to the end. But where has he been? God, I'm yelling so much I'm going to lose my voice. Where has he been? He's been ranting with Betty about how much he hates Kevin and how much he doesn't respect Kevin and how he doesn't even want to talk to Kevin. And I'm like, girl, are you playing the game or what? It's just, it's so frustrating that you made that play at the triple and now you're like basically trying to be like, take backs. Like, I want to take that back. Like, I didn't do that. I'm sorry, Betty. I didn't want to make you feel bad, Betty, but you did do it. And that's the horse you decided to ride on. That's the girl you brought to the dance, or boy, if I'm being, real. And you need to go with them to the dance. Don't change horses in midstream. Don't change dates at the prom. Go with the girl to Pracha and you'll bring the win home. But instead, like I said, he went with the crash test dummies in the triple, and now he's like anti-crash test dummies and realizes that they may be evicting him this week. But if I would submit, they are evicting him, but it's like the chicken or the egg, which came first. I think Josh's bad play has caused them to want to evict Josh, not the other way around. So it's really on Josh if he gets evicted this week, and I don't even think he can see that right now.
And like I said earlier, I really think that it all came down to Kevin outing way too much info to Betty, giving her that ammo to use against them to bring Josh back into basically her friendship. They're not even an alliance, but her friendship with him. This was what she needed to really pull Josh on side. Now, obviously, it was too little too late because she already put Josh on the block. So I agree with you. I think Kevin's biggest mistake, honestly, I don't think there was anything besides the fact of what you said, where Helena didn't do much to hurt her game this week, except for not go, yes, we did it, guys. It's us three to the end. This is how. That's what I've been screaming at my TV for a couple weeks now, that they haven't pushed that, because we get it. You guys are the ghosts. You're a twosome. That's what you believe in. That's fine. Tell us that. But tell the people in the house, or maybe not the people in the house, tell Josh, we're all in. This is us. We're going to be one of the greatest alliances ever to do it.
Yes.
They're never going to see us coming. It's just, that's what you have to push, especially when you're at this point where, like I broke down before, Final Four, at that point, if Josh is all on board with you and he's not going to turn against you, you saw what he did by putting up Betty last week when he really didn't want to, but he wanted to save you guys. You have him in your back pocket right where you want him, where you don't even have to win the Final Four HOH, and you're 100% safe. no matter what. Even if one of you goes on the block, the other is going to save you because they're the only vote left. So no matter what, you're fine unless Betty wins power veto. That's it. And we know how petty Betty has been in these competitions, except for this week. Congratulations to her. But honestly, actually, she won a veto a couple weeks ago. Whatever. But
yeah, she's won 2 vetoes and an HOH. So of the people left remaining,
she's better than I give her credit for.
She's better than everybody else remaining in the game right now. Like, right? yeah. She's won 3 competitions. Right. Yeah. Anyway, because Kevin doesn't have an HOH. Nobody has an HOH besides Josh.
Josh. Yeah. And Betty. So you got to think though that is. I still like their chances of 3-on-1 against Betty. Like, you got to understand, like, in that situation, you're set up so perfectly. But they, like you said, they let that go by the wayside. They let that relationship kind of fester. And now they're pretty much pushing their own agenda, not making Josh feel comfortable. And then this information comes out. And then Betty comes out and says, well, listen, he said he's willing to let you go and that he was working with you. So now I know you were working with him. And that's why I went up. It was like the wheels fell off. And now you're in a position going forward where instead of getting rid of JC this week, you might have to keep her. And now it's basically 2-on-2. I understand Petty Betty will not be playing in the HOH competition, but JC is pretty decent at these competitions from what we've seen.
She's very decent. So and I think she could have won. If not, we haven't even talked about the veto competition yet, but I really don't love the fact that they hid one of the puzzle pieces like way the fuck up high.
That was way high.
Like where like some of the people could see it if they're tall enough, like Josh and Kevin, but yet JC is one of the shortest people there, and she like at full height, like it was definitely above her. You know, she'd have to jump up to see over it, and I did not love that. I know that there's advantages for every house guest, but I don't know why that just sat so wrong with me.
That sat wrong with me too. I'm glad you pointed that out because I wanted to bring that up. I just think that is such a disadvantage. It clearly is in favor of the people that are taller in the house, and even they had a little bit of trouble with it. But you're putting no one's looking in this competition up high. I understand you need to look everywhere. But when it's somewhere where I think it was just the edge was popping off the top, so you could see that there was something a little askew up there.
But the tip? Is that what you're saying? Yes.
Just the tip. Just the tip,
right.
Brent.
All right.
So I forgot where I was going with this. Yeah, but wait,
it was unfair. Yeah, we didn't like what they did with the veto competition. Yeah, exactly.
I agree with you.
So since we're talking about the veto competition, because there's some more stuff to have, we can talk about what the shenanigans that have been happening after the veto ceremony and who's actually going home. So let's talk about the veto competition. This competition was a fail for me.
Yeah.
It was not enjoyable watching people playing for their lives, and Betty's like, roaming around the studio, like behind chalkboards and shit. She's not even on the playing field. Like, I feel like there should have been like a rope to rope off, like, okay, this is the area you can work in, because they let them basically have full reign over that entire studio space. And obviously most of them didn't know what the fuck they were doing. Basically, JC Lynn and Josh to a lesser extent, although he made a few mistakes, and Helena, who somehow was walking straight lines blindfolded. I saw the person who runs Helena's account on Twitter. It seems very lovely. And by the way, I love Helena, so I'm not shading her. I'm not saying anything, but it did look funny when you see someone like Betty who doesn't even know where the fuck she is and is holding on to stuff to try to feel around where she's at, and she can't feel and she don't know. And yet Helena's got like a blindfold on, and she's literally just like walking with a normal gait, like straight the fuck down the fairway on a straight line. Like, it was amazing. It really, really was. The person who runs Helena's account said that she does a lot of work with ECE, which is early childhood education. And so that's how she knew how to, make the puzzles and blindfold it and put them together. I don't know that skill set necessarily translates, but okay, we'll go for it. But like I said, this competition was a fail for the most part. I liked the first part about them having to like find stuff from other house guests and what they said. And I also, the funny part is I liked Kevin's strategy of like, okay, get the first 3 right and just put up the last 2 name tags. And if you're wrong, just switch them. But then he had other shit that was wrong. So then he like basically had to do everything twice, and obviously took way, way, way too long. But I thought this competition overall was definitely a fail.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think it was a fail. I think this is very much so a Survivor-esque challenge with the blindfolds and running into things. And we don't like them in Survivor. So why would we in any way like them on Big Brother? I did always wonder one thing. When they wear these blindfolds, I'm like, how do people not like somewhat see underneath? Like, I've always wondered that, but it answered my questions about that tonight, where they had goggles on underneath the bandage that was on their face. So you had blacked out goggles with that on top. So that's just a little side note. I finally figured that out.
Well, and that's fine, but like I've had goggles before where like, because everybody's face is shaped different.
Yes.
So like sometimes the goggles would be like a little like if your nose is especially something like bigger or smaller, like you'll have a little bit of room, like a little bit of light coming in outside your nose. And honestly, if I'm trying to like walk a very tightrope here because I don't want to take away anything from Helena, because I love Helena and I would love to see her win. Okay. And I just love everything. I think Helena's been treated very unfairly by the fans, but you cannot deny that it looked like, go watch that again. Girl is booking it down the straightaway.
Yeah.
Blindfolded. How the fuck? Like, anyway, it happened. She won, and that's that. So we'll leave it at that.
I mean, she still would like go into the rooms and touch the ground, and like I know she would like, basically instantly know, but she still had to touch it to really get a feeling.
That's very true. I'm just like, it was more when she's not touching anything, she's not feeling everybody else is feeling the railway to feel it. But instead, she's got her hands at her side, walking like a normal person, blindfolded, and is completely straight. How?
I don't know if it was rigged. I don't think it was rigged. I will say this.
I don't think it was rigged. I think
suspicious.
She could maybe see like 1% or something, which is like, I don't know. Oh, no, whatever.
But we would be remiss to not talk about Betty in this.
Yeah, I'm not trying. Exactly. I'm sorry. Oh, yeah. Well, like, you want to talk about Betty? Is that what you said?
Yeah, I want to talk about Betty in this competition.
Go ahead. Yes.
I was dying. This girl was up against the wall. The wall that she's probably walked around a million times in this house, touching it like this is part of the competition. Like, you're telling me in the 3 months she's been in this house, she hasn't gone up and touched that wall one time and got an idea? Like, she was all over the place. Like, I was like, I don't understand how the other house guests at least knew where the board was and then knew how to get to the houses. How are the whatever they are, the areas? How in the world does she not even know how to get to the board? Like, she's walking everywhere but where she needs to go.
I have to listen. Helena knew exactly what way to turn, and so did JC Lynn. They knew exactly what way to turn for the room and where the nameplates are. I don't know if Betty just doesn't have the spatial orientation, or if she doesn't remember what they told her, because obviously they told them, because some people knew and some people didn't. So they knew when they come off the rope, the rooms are to your left, the nameplates are on your right. And that's all you need to know. So, go from there. And obviously some people took that to heart and some people didn't.
And I will say this. There are some people that are just not directionally challenged. I'll say that. And my fiance is 100% one of them. Just a quick side note. There was one time where we were leaving her friend's house. We walked down the stairs going towards our car. She forgot something in the house, so she said, I have to go back. We walked no more than 10 steps from the stairs. She turns back and starts walking down these other flight of stairs that had nothing to do with where we came from. Like, we know when we're trying to get somewhere, my fiance is not in charge of the directions because we will get 100% lost. Like, how do you walk downstairs and then go and walk 10 steps forward and then go back and go downstairs a different way? It just blew my mind. So I understand there are these people, my fiance being one of them who I love, She's going to hate me for telling this story. But yes, there are people like that. So maybe that's what we're dealing with here. Maybe Betty's just directionally challenged.
Maybe. I don't know. That was very, very funny. But like I said, it's like it's the final five. You want people to be fighting for their lives. It's important. This is one of the few veto competitions that the HOH can play in at the final five. And yet, like, you got Kevin doesn't have any of the nameplates right. He's got everything switched because he can't see anything, and he's like totally missed everything. Betty's like over here in the corner of the studio, doesn't know what the fuck she's doing. Like, it was a fail. Sorry.
It was a fail. It was a failed competition, especially this late in the game. Like, at this late in the game, we need competitions that it can't just be completely luck almost in that position.
Well, and I liked it because it was very like egalitarian. For those of you who don't know what that means like it's not particularly advantageous from a physical or mental skill set. It's like anybody could win this, okay? So anybody could win this because everybody's blindfolded, okay? So that's good, but it just like the thing that makes like blindfolded challenges good on Survivors because they have everything roped off and everybody's coming down to the straightaway. Like all the ropes eventually come together so that everybody's together. If they're racing at the end, or everybody, like, you can follow the person who's in front and you know, like, they're on a set playing field. The problem with Betty was that she was off in like, 5 different areas that weren't even related to the competition, and it was just horrendous to watch. Like, I didn't want to see that. Anyway,
it was like nails on the chalkboard for sure. I agree with Mary. It's always a team on Amazing Race who's directionally challenged. Like, let's get Betty on Amazing Race. Let's go. Who's with me?
Yeah, I know, right?
And now, Brent, I do have a question for you. First off, we should get to commercial break because that's coming up. Is that a lightsaber on the bed behind you? Because it's been it's been staring at me.
Oh my God. Yeah. Well, so my boyfriend is sorry, let me get this in the right area. Wait. Let me come over here. Hold on one sec. Yes, it's a lightsaber. He got it at Disney World. And it's Star Wars. And then, did you hear that?
Yeah.
I'm gonna be quiet. So listen to this. And you see how it goes up. See, it goes up, and then watch it when it comes down. Like I'm trying to get the whole thing in the shot. Watch. See how it comes down? Like like a real lightsaber. It's very, very cool. Yes, exactly.
Don't get me wrong. I was very much so like, I think that's a lightsaber, but
it's a lightsaber. Could be a dildo, could be a lightsaber. We don't know. But you decided to chance it, and you were rewarded. So yes. On that note, let's take some commercials, Bobby. Yes.
Yeah, our penis pill commercials. Let's get to them. All right, guys. We'll be right back.
Lucy Nicotine is a company founded by Caltech scientists and former smokers looking for a better and cleaner nicotine alternative. Finally, tobacco alternatives that don't suck.
Researched and developed for 3 years to be made for people, not patients. Lucy has created a nicotine gum with 4 milligrams of nicotine that comes in 3 flavors: wintergreen, cinnamon, and pomegranate. Lucy also has a lozenge with 4 milligrams of nicotine in cherry ice flavor. Each and every flavor actually tastes great, and it's convenient and discreet. Products can be enjoyed anywhere, on flights, at work, on the go, or even in the gym.
I am so happy that Lucy is sponsoring us. Ever since they came on board, I have gotten no less than 5 of my friends transitioned over to Lucy and put their cigarettes down. They like the gum. I'm used to seeing the packages all around. This stuff is great, and it's really helping people make much healthier choices. So get on board and join the Lucy movement.
Hey, it's 2021. Get rid of your cigarettes, unplug your vape, throw out your dip, and get some Lucy nicotine gum or lozenges. This is the real deal. A subscription to Lucy comes directly to your door each month. It's so simple that you don't even have to leave your house because Lucy has delivery down.
Reality NSFW listeners, go to lucy.co and use promo code SURVIVOR to get 20% off all products, including gum or lozenges. That's lucy.co and use promo code SURVIVOR at checkout. Also, I have to give this disclaimer. Warning, this product contains nicotine derived from tobacco. Nicotine is an addictive chemical. That's lucy.co, and be sure to use that promo code Survivor.
This episode of Reality NSFW is sponsored by Blue Chew. Say it with us, Blue Chew. Blue Chew is making waves and bringing more confidence to the bedroom by offering chewable tablets that can help men get stronger and longer lasting erections. That's right, we're giving away super hard dicks.
Blue Chew is a unique online service that delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis, but in chewable form and at a fraction of the cost. Blue Chew's tablets help men achieve harder, stronger erections to combat all forms of ED.
Blue Chew is an online prescription service, so no visits to the doctor offices, no awkward conversations, and no waiting in line at the pharmacy. And it ships right to your door in a discreet package. The process is simple. Sign up at BlueChew.com, consult with one of their licensed medical providers, and once you're approved, you'll receive your prescription within days. And the best part, it's all done online.
Blue Chew's licensed medical providers work with you to find the right ingredient and strength for your prescription. Don't like swallowing pills? No problem here. Blue Chew's sildenafil and tadalafil tablets are chewable. Blue Chew's tablets are made in the USA and they prepare and ship direct, so it's cheaper than a pharmacy.
Hey, if you're looking to give that immunity idol to someone, or you don't want to be voted out of a crater, don't worry, Blue Chew's got you covered. So if you could benefit from extra confidence when it's time to perform, visit BlueChew.com for more details and important safety information.
And we've got a special deal for our listeners. Try Blue Chew free when you use promo code SURVIVOR at checkout. Just pay $5 shipping. That's Blue Chew, BlueChew.com, promo code SURVIVOR to receive your first month free. And we thank Blue Chew for sponsoring the podcast.
We're all trying to eat better, but healthy breakfast doesn't have to be boring. Magic Spoon has the amazing flavors you love, but without all the bad stuff. And it's amazing as a midnight snack right before bed.
0 grams of sugar, 13 to 14 grams of protein, and only 4 net grams of carbs in each serving. That's only 140 calories per serving.
It's keto-friendly, gluten-free, grain-free, soy-free, and low-carb. And build your own box. Available flavors to build your very own custom bundle are cocoa, fruity, frosted, peanut butter, blueberry, cinnamon, cookies and cream, and my favorite, maple waffle. Now, Magic Spoon recently brought back their 2 super popular flavors, cookies and cream and maple waffle. Thank goodness, but they're back permanently. And when these flavors were first introduced for a limited time, they sold out extremely quickly. Now, I'm here to let you know you can get them again or try them for the first time. Why? Because they're delicious and indulgent.
Johnny, Magic Spoon has so many great flavors that I really enjoy, and even my kids enjoy them. We have the cocoa, fruity frosted, peanut butter. All these are really great combinations. They enjoy waking up in the morning and getting some Magic Spoon right off to start their day great before they head off to school. I think everybody listening should give Magic Spoon a try, or if you've tried them already, it's time to reorder. Let's get you some more Magic Spoon and get your day started right.
Hey, when I finish a podcast late at night, the first thing I'm thinking is not sleep. It's let me grab a delicious bowl of Magic Spoon before I go to bed.
So go to magicspoon.com/survivor to grab a custom bundle of cereal and try it today. And be sure to use our promo code SURVIVOR at checkout to save $5 off your order. And Magic Spoon is so confident in their product, it's backed with a 100% happiness guarantee. So if you don't like it for any reason, they'll refund your money, no questions asked. Remember to get your next delicious bowl of guilt-free cereal at magicspoon.com/survivor and use the code SURVIVOR to save $5 off. Thank you, Magic Spoon, for sponsoring this podcast.
All right, we are back, everybody. Thank you again for tuning in with us. If you are watching on YouTube, we'd really appreciate it if you'd hit that like button and hit that little bell for notifications to let you know whenever we go live. And if you could sub, that'd be amazing too. It really helps us here on the channel, helps our get the YouTube algorithm out there to show our videos off to more people. If you hit that like, subscribe, and turn on the notifications and check us out when we are live. So please, if you can, That'd be great. And so let's get into some of your questions. First off, Mary has a question. I feel Helena is winning would piss off the most people, especially if she avoid the block completely. Oh, sorry. And here's the first part of her question. If Helena makes it without touching the block or just nominated by default, should she win over anyone?
I mean, I think this has got to be something that the people take into account when casting their votes in the jury. But I really feel like the bigger thing, like more so than the fact that she maybe never nominated, is the fact that she could really contour the game to what she wants it to look like to the jury through her goodbye messages. She let me give you all the real tea. So Josh is going to be evicted this week. And the reason that Josh is going to be evicted this week is because of two things. Josh playing badly and JL playing really, really well when the chips were down. JL realized she was about to be evicted. Jace, I'm talking about, realized she was about to be evicted. Kevin basically told her to her face, "You're about to be evicted. I'm going to vote you out." And she was like, "Look, like, you can't trust Josh. Josh and Betty are working together. They'll take each other. Also, Josh is going to win. I don't think I can win, but even if I do, I'll take you to the final two, Kevin." And he's like, "Are you playing me?" And she's like, No, I'm not playing you. For real, I'll take you to the final two. And she might take him to the final two. I think she still takes Helena, but nevertheless, she finally got some traction when it came to strategy. Boy, she's good when it comes to thinking on your feet and doing like some really hardcore work in the moment to try to save your life. Basically, everything that Josh is not good at, Jace is good at. She's very good at this sort of thing. Josh isn't able to like put two sentences together when he has tension in the air, whereas that's when Jace does her best work. She felt like she was about to be evicted, and she basically offered Kevin the goddamn farm, and he bought it, hook, line, and sinker, and it looks like they're going to take Jace to the final four. They're going to evict Josh. And the kicker was this. After he talked about it with Helena, they kind of left it up in the air a little bit. Then they went to talk to Betty about it. Kevin talked to Betty. Then Helena came in, talked to Betty, and the three of them talked about it. And they were like, well, we're thinking of voting out Josh. And Betty was just like, yeah, that's fine. But you know, I mean, like, Jace could win. Like, aren't you afraid of that? Like, basically, Betty started pushing, like, that Josh needed to stay, which is not how she felt 2 days ago. And ever since their big fight together between Josh and Betty, Kevin and Helena have suspected that Josh and Betty have made up. They've said that they're still pissed at each other, but they're not pissed at each other anymore. And it's very hard to fake it in the house when you're like the only two people there that they're looking at, because it's not, they're obviously not looking at each other, and they know where Jace is. So who are they looking at? They're looking at Josh and Betty, and obviously they're not mad at each other anymore. So Josh has done a really, really poor job, and Jace has done an immaculate job, or at least a very passable job, like, you know, replacement player plus work in terms of what they need to do. And I'm sorry, I'm reading the chat right now. Kevin and Helena are currently telling Josh that he's staying, but they're lying to him. They are lying, unless something's changed in the past hour that he didn't see. But oh my God, girl, I don't know. Like, for my money, they're gonna blindside Josh, and they said that if they do vote Josh out, that it needs to be a blindside. And I don't think Betty has told Josh yet that they came to her and were like, we're gonna think about voting out Josh. And then when they came back to the room, Kevin and Helena looked at each other and they were like, basically, Betty's reaction gave it away. Like, she could not keep a straight face. She did not know how to react when they said we were going to vote out Josh. And she's pissed. Betty is pissed that they're going to vote out Josh. And she basically let it show. So, man, I'm obviously trying to watch the chat at the same time that I'm trying to talk to you guys. So, Bobby, talk for a second to what I just said, and I'm going to check Twitter real quick, okay?
Yeah, well, first off, I'm always amazed. I know when Survivor ends because the amount of people watching this go up by like 100 all at the same time. It's always crazy. Sorry, I was watching that while you were talking. So, little side note. Back to your question, Mary. I think that Helena winning, I understand that people think that she's floating through the game, and she understands that. We saw that in the episode, that she understands that people think she just floated her way here. But honestly, once she gets, if Kevin is evicted, and she said in the episode also, she knows what her heart wants her to do, but she knows what her head is telling her to do. And I took that a little bit as she doesn't, I mean, she wants to take Kevin to the end. She believes that it should be the two ghosts getting to the end. But I think in her heart, in her head, excuse me, that she understands she might have to get rid of Kevin to really have a shot to win this, and also show the jury, or have Kevin there in the jury showing what she did. Because you know that he will 100% back her up, say, this is what happened. We were the ones running this. She's amazing. She deserves to win. You guys haven't given her any credit. And that's what she really needs. I honestly think her best shot at winning this game, even if she's up against JC, let's just say JC, let's say Kevin's gone and Betty's gone and JC's there against her. JC is going to get some votes for sure. JC's played a great game. But if she has Kevin there and Kevin's not super bitter and will back her up all the way and basically be the spokesperson she needs, and if she wins a couple comps like she did tonight to get there, I think the jury is going to respect her game a lot and possibly give her this win.
You're talking about Helena, like cutting Kevin eventually? Okay. So the one thing I will bring up is the fact that when Kevin Martin was on the show, which we haven't even talked about, Kevin Martin, Helena won that. The reward, and he gave some advice to Helena. Basically, in my opinion, his advice was like, personal relationships will be there after the season. You need to evict Kevin. Like, that's what he was saying to Helena without saying it. You can't get something past me, Kevin Martin. Kevin Robert Martin, I saw what you were doing. He's trying to tell Helena, you need some ownership of the game away from Kevin, because right now it looks like the Kevin and Helena show, and Kevin gets top billing in that twosome. She needs to do something on her own. So what can she do? Obviously, evicting Kevin is something, or just taking ownership. If they evict Josh, she can take ownership of the fact, like, Josh, I needed you out of this game. I persuaded Kevin to evict you. Take ownership of it. That would be good for Helena. Now, I do see in the chat that right now, right during our podcast, right during Survivor, that fucking Kevin and Helena are telling Josh that he's staying. But I don't know if this is real or not. I don't know what this is. I know earlier today, as I saw in the chat, that Josh did sort of little bit threaten Helena that he would taint the jury if he was evicted or blindsided. But I knew he also wasn't going to talk to Kevin. So I don't know what the fuck's going on. I'm still sticking with that Jace is staying. Josh is going to be evicted. I don't know what this conversation is right now, but if they flipped again, there's going to be hell to pay. Nevertheless, it doesn't really matter because it's 6 of one, half dozen of another. Josh and Jace are both formidable if they get to the end. Both of them could betray Kevin and Helena at different times. The thing for Kevin is that I thought it would be better for Kevin's game to keep Josh, and I think it's better for Helena's game to keep Jace. So whoever gets their way this week, we'll call them the winner for the week.
Yeah, and I really think it doesn't behoove either of them to keep Josh in this game at this point. I think that the damage is done with their relationship as far as the crash test dummies go. And they really haven't been pursuing, like you said, they haven't been pursuing that alliance. They haven't shoved it down Josh's throat saying, hey, this is exactly us three to the end. We have to do this. And since they haven't done that, it's really drifted him apart. He's heard what Betty had to say. And I just think that the damage is already done. I think you have to get rid of Josh at this point. I think there's literally zero benefit to keeping him because he's not going to keep either of you no matter what he does as far as you go. I think, like you said, I think with Helena, I think that JC, there's a chance that she takes her. And I think there's a chance that even Kevin, I think that there's an outside chance that maybe Betty would go before Kevin. But I don't know. I think it's a toss-up either way. It's who do you think you can beat and who do you think you have the best chance of convincing to get you there? That's really what it comes down to. We're too far into the game. It's not like anything else matters. This is where games are won or lost. It's by decisions like tomorrow night. So I think we could see this go flip-flop a million different times. We could see Josh is staying, JC is staying, Josh is going, JC is going. It's not going to matter until that vote is cast and what they fully believe.
True. Yeah.
And from there, we'll see what happens.
I should have known that, one more 24 hours to go, that there was going to be one more flip. Now, I don't know if there has been a flip, but there could be. So we'll see. Yeah. We're going to watch the feeds tonight, and eventually they're going to decide. I really want them to evict Josh. I feel like he deserves it. He deserves to be evicted. Jace has done so much more good work to stay. Josh does like the bare minimum and gets by on his smile and his good looks and his like likability. And I'm sorry, I'm not here for it. I'm not here for it because he's just so like, he could be so much better than this, and he's just not. It feels like he doesn't even try sometimes. Anyway.
Yeah. And as far as the Kevin Martin thing, I agree with you. And also Kevin Martin being like, oh, you have nothing but time to remember your days and all the challenges and everything. I'm like, yeah, Kevin, we know. You literally studied preseason of what the competitions were, what the questions were, so you knew what to say. Like, we'll never see a game like that again, I believe. But like, it's so funny coming from him. It's like, yeah, we know. That's how you basically won the game. I love it.
I know that I said it, Kevin was saying, evict Kevin. Boston Girl in the chat said that I don't think Helena took it that way. And I concur that Helena didn't take it that way. However, 4 days from now, 5 days from now, when we have like a Final Four veto winner or a Final 3 HOH winner, does she remember that? Does she think I need to cut Kevin? Is that in the back of her mind? I don't think she would. But, stranger things have happened in Big Brother Canada.
Absolutely. All right. So we got Tracy's question. Do you guys think Kev has been playing a character for 60 days, even diary rooms? I like his game, but I don't care for him personally. Brent?
Sorry, we were.
Sorry.
I didn't see the question.
I can answer.
Sorry.
So, I really think that Kevin has completely been playing a character. I think the character Kevin's been playing is this evil mastermind. We've seen it in the diary room. We've seen him basically act like, oh, you know what? I don't know this game. This game is so confusing to me. I was just recruited. Like, I really don't know what's going on. You guys might as well not get rid of me because I really don't know what I'm doing inside the house. And then in the diary rooms, we hear him say, oh my gosh, this is all part of my plan. I'm going to easily backstab you. I can't wait to do it, you idiot. Like, all this stuff. He's completely playing a character, and good on him. We've seen other people play characters in the past, and it's really worked out for them. So I think that this is actually a decent move. And I think he's not like this in real life. I think in real life, he is just like the nice guy we heard about. We heard from other people. He's, Rob has a podcast patron, and he knows people that are in that group, and people say he's just the nicest guy ever. I think he's just a big fan. He's excited to be there. He's playing the game, and he's playing one hell of a game. I'm sure he's in shock at how well this game has panned out for him, that he's now at the point where it's like, all right, this is the end run. I really have a chance at this, and maybe I could go down as one of the best characters to ever play too.
Yeah.
Sorry, someone's at the door.
Oh, someone's at the door? Do you have to answer it?
Go ahead. Keep talking. I'm going to answer it.
Oh, okay. I was dying at Moses's comment in the chat. I can't put it up because only Bobby has administrative privileges, but it's like, maybe I can. Let me see it. Can I do this? I can do it. Okay, wait. There we go. Me too, Brent. Josh has been glorified furniture all season. And then Mary said, hot furniture. And I'm like, I'm totally with the both of you. I finally figured out how to show comments, by the way. I managed to show 2 comments. It's when Moses said that Josh has been glorified furniture all season long. And I have to concur. People like, he's very likable. People enjoy being around Josh. But what has he done? Like, what has he done strategically in the game, but act on what other people have told him to do? Has he ever had an original thought in the game and acted upon it? I think the answer is no.
Yeah, sorry, I'm so lost. We have this sweet little neighbor girl who lives next door who always wants to play with our 1.5-year-old. She's super sweet, but we always put a sign on the door that says, do not knock, do not ring the doorbell, the dogs will bark. Either the baby's asleep or daddy's doing his podcast. So please. And she does it anyways, and it drives me crazy.
She can't read. How old is she?
No, she's like 7 or 8. She can read.
Oh, okay.
We wrote her name on there, and it's very sweet. She always wants to play with the baby. She said she would babysit for $5. We're like, yeah, that'll never happen, but thank you. You're super sweet. Here's $5.
Yeah.
But sorry, I'm gonna have to talk to her because it can't happen.
It's okay. Okay. No worries. We're wrapping up anyway. Look, you guys, they could flip back and forth. I still think that Jace is going to be evicted. I hope they blindside Josh tomorrow. It would be glorious to see. He honestly deserves it for how bad he has played this week and some of this season. I want to see it. That's what I want to see tomorrow. I want Betty to be blindsided. I want that. I want that. Now I'm rooting for Betty. I'm rooting for all of these people. But the one thing I see Twitter going off about is that they don't want to get to the end of this season and then have a JC Lynn win And I'm totally fine with a Jace win because she has really put in the work lately. And if she gets to the end and wins, she would have earned it. But I mean, obviously Kevin is the one I'm rooting for, and Helena, Kevin and Helena. Like if Kevin and Helena can get to the end and live the dream, like the one that like Danielle and Jason almost got to do in Big Brother USA 3. Like that's what I want. I want Kevin and Helena to get to the end of the game and one of them to win the money.
Yeah, I agree with you. Those are the two I want to win. I've really been rooting for the Ghosts this entire, I'd say, second half of the season, the back half of the season. I'm really rooting for Kevin to win it all just because I think he's played a great game. That's no shade at Helena. I think she's played a great game and I'll be very happy if she wins too. I just really appreciate Kevin. Maybe it's also because I can kind of see a little bit of myself in him. He's a super fan like me and like he, loves all these podcasts. I just think that he represents exactly the kind of character I can relate to. And so the fact that he's playing an absolutely phenomenal game on top of that has just made me push for him even more. So that's who I'm rooting for. But honestly, I'm fine with any of the remaining people winning. Let's say Josh stays. I'm happy with him winning. If JC stays, I'm happy with her winning. Even Betty, as much as Betty drives me nuts, she's a great TV character, and I'd be fine with her winning.
Yeah. First of all, yeah, if Betty wins, totally here for it. If JC wins, I'm here for it. Kevin and Helena, obviously, I want them to win. Even if Josh gets to the end and wins somehow, I'm here for it, but he's going to have to do something alpha. By alpha, I mean original. He's going to have a strategic thought and do something in the game and make his case for why he should win. You can't just be likable Josh with that great smile and then somebody give you the money like that. It can't happen like that. Not on this fantastic season.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I completely agree. I think it would be a little bit of disservice to the work that they've done if Kevin and Helena don't get to the final two, or at least one of them gets to the final two. So I'm really pushing for that. But like I said, any of the remaining people are very, very deserving of this prize. So, hey, I mean, honestly, when was the last time we said that? When was the last time we were at a final five and we could see a reason for every person in the house remaining? Like, it's been a long time. So I'm very happy to see it. All right, so I don't see anything else that's catching my attention as far as questions. Anything else you see?
No, I'm good to go.
All right. Lastly, just real quick, what are your thoughts on Survivor? We haven't watched the episode, but how have you been liking the season? I just want to know.
Oh, it's been going great. I'm actually going to do a deep dive on Saturday with Alex Vino for Survivor. Nice. So I'm very excited about that. Talking about the episode tonight. So I can't wait to see what happens. Very
awesome. Definitely tune into that. I need to get on one of these podcasts with Alex because I've been loving this season. There's a lot to talk about. But yeah, it's just been a phenomenal season. Can't wait to watch tonight's episode. If any of you have seen it, no spoilers. But yeah, phenomenal episode, phenomenal season we had here. Hopefully Big Brother US, when it starts in probably June, July, I'm hoping for the same thing, hoping we get as good of a season as we've been spoiled with this season. All right.
By the way, I have just a little bit of news. So, bitch, let me tell y'all. I am living my best life because I got my job. I think I told you I got the job a while ago, but I got the Ohio gaming license. So I'm literally. But let me just set this up for you. So this is reality NSFW. I just want to set this, guys, because I want to tweet something like this, but there's a lot of younger people that follow my tweets sometimes. So I'm trying to figure out a way to say this, but I'm going to say this to you guys here because I feel like I can. Okay. This is where I'm at. So since I was fired, and make no mistake, I was fired from Rob as a podcast just over a year ago. I said that it was a mutual decision, but I was trying to be nice, just keep it very not awkward with Rob or anything. I wanted to have a very good exit there, be gracious on the way out. And so, but since I was fired from Rob as a podcast, I have met my dream guy. I have the best body I've ever had in my life. I'm having the most sex I've ever had in my life with some of the hottest men, and obviously one hot man in particular. And I have my dream job. I got my dream job making the most money I have ever made in my entire fucking life. Can I just tell you that when you doubt destiny and the universe, don't, because all the negative energy that people put into trying to get rid of me has come back, and now it is threefold in my favor, Bobby, because I am living my best life right now, bitch, and I know you are happy for me.
Oh, I'm so happy for it. Snaps for you, Brent. Snaps for
Thank
you.
you. Yes.
No, I'm very, very happy for it. I thought you were going to go a different way for a second on that one. So, caught
Oh
me a
my
little off
gosh.
guard. Yeah. You know what I'm talking about.
Let me check. So wait. So this is me. Oh shit! I dropped it. This is me. This came up in my Facebook feed today from 4 years ago. Look at all of the weight in my face. Me and my sister were at Infinity War, and it just like I'm amazed that I used to look like that. I'm like, wow. Like, because look at me now. I'm like,
you look phenomenal.
That's like 70 pounds ago, 60 pounds ago. Oh, just amazing. I can't.
As
I
a
can't
former fat guy myself, I lost about the same, about 3 or 4 years ago. So
Yeah.
it feels great. It's an amazing feeling. You look great. I'm so glad. Like I said in the past, there's no one that deserves it more than you. You were always the nicest person to me when we were on Rob Has the Podcast. You always answered my questions. You were always there for me when I needed someone to rely on, when I felt like I wasn't being heard by others at RHAP for specific reasons. You were the one who would answer my calls. So to say that someone, well, I'm glad that, in light of a bad situation, things have gone great for you in life. And I'm so happy for you.
Thank you, Bobby. That's very, very sweet of you to say. Awesome.
Of course. Yeah. And so I think we went a little long on this one, but hey, guys, great episode. We're going to have the finale next week. So here we go, guys. This is the end, bitches. We're at the end. We're almost there. Home stretch now.
So excited.
All right. So we will be with you next week for the final week podcast. I think the finale, is it on Wednesday?
I believe it is. Yes, I believe, and I believe. So, wait. So, Survivor's still on. So, yeah. Okay. So it's going to be at 7. Well, I don't know because
is it Thursday or Wednesday? Chat.
Guys, help me out. Is maybe Survivor's like an hour later? Because usually the finale is like 2 hours, isn't it? Help me, you guys. Help us in the chat. What is happening next Wednesday? And I think that the finale is on Wednesday. I'm pretty sure. But what time is it and how long is it? That's what we need to know for next Wednesday. You guys can help us in the chat and let us know. I know there's always a little bit of lag, so that's why I'm tap dancing here. But someone in the chat who knows will let us know, and we will find the answer to that question.
They said, it's 2 hours. So I see someone says, it's 2 hours. Moses, Thursday is finale. Yeah,
Thursday is the finale.
Thursday
Interesting.
Finale.
Okay, I work on Thursday, so we're gonna. I don't know. We'll have to figure that out. But maybe I can switch with somebody.
I'm off.
You're off on Thursday? Maybe you could do a podcast on Thursday with like Alex or something. I think Alex can do stuff on Thursday. He just can't do stuff on Wednesday.
Just call out, bitch.
No. All right. Well, we'll have to. We'll check on the time. Yeah, we'll figure it out. And one way or another, we'll see you guys.
We'll let you guys know. Worst case, we'll be here Wednesday, and we'll get to talk about everything leading into the finale episode. So. You guys, thank you again. We'll be back here next Wednesday immediately following the episode, unless you guys see something on social media telling you different. For Brent, I'm Bobby. You can find us at OneLuckyGay for Brent. You can find me at Goodsby Bobby on Twitter for any questions, concerns, or things about the show that you want to know. All right, guys, we'll be back next week. Everyone have an amazing week, and we'll see you then. Bye. Oops, sorry. You clicked the wrong thing.
And for more reality NSFW content, visit adfreensfw.com.